You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Taz, Chill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels when it's game time. They like the bad vibe during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait is the War Room. With 5 nights at the round table, 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
Yes, we are. Yes, sir. What's good, War Room family? You're once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm in the building with my brother. We got B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. Does it better? Jimmy the Blueprint will be with us in just a few minutes. Look, man, panic is set in Philly. The youngest ball boys are getting another lesson in, and the Me Too movement has hit the NFL Network. So keep it locked right here to get in on the conversation and to make sure you join us right now in the Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call in directly in about 5 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. During the week, real quick message before we get started. When we're not live on the air, be sure to check out archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app. That's free, by the way, on Android and iOS, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and most other places you consume wonderful podcasting. As of right now, the War Room Sports Podcast Network is still down, but we still got our computer guys working on that, trying to get that back up and running for you guys. So just stay with us, sit tight, stay tuned. The wonderful shows you love on the network will be back. What up, B. Austin? What's going on, good brother?
Yo, not me too. No.
Man, everywhere. That's all.
Yo,
everywhere.
everyone.
Every industry that gets some kind of public attention. Like
Tavis Smiley.
They got Tavis. Yeah, they got Tavis.
Yo.
But Jim, you said something earlier. I never got to talk to you or read what you were saying. You were saying that Tavis was fighting back on this one. What's Tavis?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He said, look, man, he ain't do nothing. He said they jumped the gun. He was like, they started interviewing some people.
He said if a consensual relationship is deemed this way and we can jump the gun, basically he's saying that it was consensual and they tripping.
He said
I ain't going
out
out
they
like
jumped
a sucker.
Yo, the story was crazy though. They said that he used to like when he was in airports traveling for business, he just tell one of his staff like, yo, I'm about to pick me up a smut buddy for this trip, and we just find a chick in the airport right there to chill with him for the week.
So what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it? No, nothing's wroong with that. But who knew Tavis Smiley had groupies like that?
Oh,
I did.
You gotta assume.
My man Tavis got intellectual groupies.
You
man.
acting like we didn't.
Never mind. I'm gonna just throw a name out there, and it's because of the people he used to work with, just who he is in general. Can y'all imagine the scandal at like what it would be right now if y'all man was still hosting The Price is Right? Or can you imagine the stories that people have about Bob Barker and what he probably did back then when people were,
Bob used to bark her. He barked her. Never mind.
I always think about that. I just imagine like, this old head working with all these young models. Who knows what he made them do?
I'm pretty sure.
To be a part
listen,
of his crew.
Man, I'm pretty sure Chris Berman got some stories
Yo,
Just because, like,
what
it's like
happens when
men of a certain age.
What happened when they get my man Pat Sajak though, and Vanna dimes him out?
Men of a certain age, man.
I got a feeling that they just stay with it together. They've been together too long. But Bob had different models every other week, so you had to do something to get on. I just believe that.
Casting couch.
All right, man. We're gonna get into the Me Too movement that has infiltrated the NFL Network and a lot of former NFL players. But before we do that, we're gonna get hot topics.
Toe, Andy Toe, stop it.
Didn't want to do that. Yeah. Like we can't catch a break, man. We can't catch a break.
Yeah, all right, so like I was saying
a second ago.
Echo Chamber.
Hot Topics are brought to you by Sports the Book. You guys tired of reading the same old sports books with the same sports lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups? What's going on here?
You good?
I know I'm getting messages that, the show's not connected. Who knows, man? Every single week, man. I'm about to quit. All right, anyway, man. Just be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. It's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture to keep you on the edge of your seat and laughing like you were watching a comedy special. Just go to sportsthebook.com and get your copy from our website, warroomsports.com. But whatever you do and wherever you get it from, just make sure you don't miss that movement. All right. Man, big week in the NFL. But before we get into those particulars, we're going to talk with Gus Griffin. So hopefully he's calling into the line to give us his investment picks. And I just got a message from Gus. He's going to have to call in a little bit later. So we'll get right into the biggest sports story of the week, the biggest NFL story of the week at least. And that is the ACL injury of Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. Now, Carson Wentz was having what many people thought was an MVP season. He went down in the Rams game in the third quarter on a play that didn't even count, a touchdown that was called back on a holding penalty. Played 4 more plays, threw a touchdown afterwards, and then walked himself off the field to go back and get his leg checked out. He never came back, and the next day with the MRI, they confirmed that his season is indeed over. The Eagles are 11-2, best record they've had in years, and their starting quarterback / MVP candidate goes down. B, first of all, what were your thoughts when you saw, him go out of the game, and then ultimately the next day when they did the MRI and gave us the bad news? What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I cried, and we're not connected, so I'm crying about that too. It's saying that we are not connected. Audience, we apologize.
I know.
But yeah, I was hurt and just felt bad. But by the same token, I picked us to be third in the division, and as a scorned Philadelphia sports fan, I never expect much. Man, it can't be our year, man. Never.
It was definitely was a bad blow to take. That was a hell of a game, might I add. I was actually in attendance in Los Angeles this weekend. One of the better games I've ever witnessed live, but it was a bittersweet win for the Eagles because first, you had the critics out there saying, they haven't beaten anybody yet. First time they went up against good teams, Kansas City back when they were good. They lost that game, and then they lost to Seattle the past week. So it was already a challenge for them and a big deal for them to try to go into the Coliseum and get this win. They ended up doing that with the help of the backup quarterback in the fourth quarter. Leaving that game, fellas, because I kid you not, it had to be at least 70-30 Eagles fans there. Leaving that game in a sea of green, it seemed like a funeral procession. We had just won what was probably the biggest and best game of the season, but everybody left, head down, frowning, checking their phones, seeing if they can get updates. It was a surreal moment, man. And for me, to tell you the absolute truth, I feel, because we've had the, woe is us with this fan base for a long time. We know when things are going this good that something's going to happen to end up derailing it. But I feel way worse for this kid than I do for myself as a fan, than I do for the fan base, than I do for any Super Bowl chances that anyone thought that they may have had. By all accounts, unless we find out something later, this seems to be a really good kid, God-fearing, seems to do all the right things. And I'm going to keep saying seems because it's it's the package that we get on the outside. We don't really know the dude personally, but it seems like he does all the right things. Seems like he's all about his craft. I hear that he's a studier, might one day be on that Peyton Manning level of being obsessed with the game. So you kind of ask, why him? I felt about him the same way I felt about Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson, I had no rooting interest whatsoever. But when you see somebody that young playing that well, you kind of want to see them play it out and see where they can go with it.
Where it can end up.
Since Tom Brady is the guy who he's probably battling with for the MVP, they're not going to allow him to miss the final 3 games, and they give it to somebody other than Brady. So I feel really bad for him.
That's a wrap.
First of all.
It's a wrap. And football is something
we haven't heard any Me Too stories yet about the ball.
Football is something you can't take for granted. So it's like I would err on the side of there in today's medical advancements, there's a strong possibility that he will come back as good as he was athletically, but you just never know. That's still not a guarantee. And then also, there's the mental component. There's a possibility that, hey, what say you about him, being nervous about defensive linemen at his feet, even though that's not how he got injured. There's all types of things that factor in.
Well, hold on, though.
I felt bad.
And I don't have too much to say. Everyone knows that, I'm staying with Cat. But what I found interesting, first of all, Dev, it sounds like you guys had a Pyrrhic victory out there in California. But, at least you got to enjoy going out to the game. And I just wanted to use the term Pyrrhic victory because I really learned that word listening to a Big Pun song back when you turn stuff, listen to hip hop. But I didn't know what it mean. I looked it up, so Pyrrhic victory. But outside of that, though, I don't watch the games, but I am on social media, so I get all the news. And when it happened, our group chat was going crazy. So, but what I saw was 12 months is the recovery time for this. Does that mean that he's going to miss most of the next season?
I mean, that usually happens. When you get an ACL injury late in the season, I mean, there's a lot of people out there playing doctor who's he'll be ready for the opener with modern medicine and this and that. But that's the same thing that happened to RG3. They stuck him back in there when he probably wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't take their time on his recovery.
He was.
No, but I get your point though. I get your point, but it's that's what's sad to me. Again, I have no rooting interest, but when I saw that, I was like, damn. So just based on time, it's like a 2-season hurt piece, real quick.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
They could rush him back, and then it also is different human beings heal at different paces. Not everybody is Terrell Owens. Not everybody has a healing factor where they can get injured.
And let's keep it above, yo. Modern medicine is amazing, yo. Catch you out the league with a head cold.
But for real,
Yesterday, Gordon Hayward was walking already.
an ACL used to be a career-threatening thing. Like 20 years ago, you get an ACL and cats would come back and they would never be the same player, or cats wouldn't come back at all.
The bull Gordon Hayward was walking yesterday. A couple months ago, his foot was facing his face. Like, his foot was the wrong way, but he was already walking yesterday.
Jimmy, put it like this: modern medicine got Sean Livingston 2 championships.
Sean Livingston almost lost his leg.
Sean Livingston, his soul left his body like Tom and Jerry, like when he fell
out of his knee.
That's
crazy.
Teddy Bridgewater is lurking in the background if Case Keenum ever mess up. I mean, they were talking about saving his leg from amputation a year and a half ago. So yeah, modern medicine will get you back, but I think the best chance of them, getting him back all the way physically and all the way mentally might be to make sure they stick with that diagnosis that Jimmy said, that that 12-month timetable. I mean the situation. Of course I'm upset as an Eagles fan, but I really separated this injury from the team, and I feel way worse for him than I do for our fan base and the franchise and all that kind of stuff.
And again,
just because me and B said, something's always going to happen anyway to derail our chances.
That's true. That's true, Dev. But here's the thing, though. So, I mean, everybody I know is an Eagles fan. So I kind of feel sorry for the fan base. And I don't know the kid. I sound like Kobe now, the kid. Everybody's the kid. I don't know the kid, but fact of the matter is the NFL is so difficult to win a Super Bowl, which is why they're so special. You need so many things to go right, and home field advantage is a major thing. Because think about it, when you have home field advantage, you literally have to win 2 games straight just to get to the bowl. And getting to the bowl itself is an accomplishment, whether people want to admit that or not. But
tell Buffalo that.
Hey, listen, man, One play and that changes the whole narrative of that team in general. But that's a whole nother story for another show.
I'm about to say like 2 plays, they got 2 rings.
Yo, shout out to Scott Norwood, wherever you hiding. But but the fact of the matter, and think about this though, if Scott Norwood makes that field goal, that changes that narrative, and also maybe Bill Parcells, because that's one less chip he has. But anyway, but my point is,
Kelly in the top 5 conversation.
The Eagles in general, who knows how they'll bounce back? I know that's a conversation that you'll have in terms of the replacement. I mean, RG3 can do he can do the same type things that
stop it. Don't do that.
those are his words, not
mine.
mine.
Did you see that article I posted him? RG3 begging for a job.
That's not my words, B.
I'm done.
That's not my words.
Yo, they signed that boy. I quit. Yo, I'm done.
They not my words, B. I'm just saying he could do those type things.
2.0.
Who knows?
All right.
Who knows how it end up, man? But it's just sad.
After 13 games, 12 and a half, I guess, Carson Wentz finishes the season completing 60% of his passes, 3,296 yards, a franchise record 33 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions and a 101.9 101.9 quarterback rating. That's one thing. He stayed in the game for 4 extra plays on a torn ACL to throw a touchdown to break the franchise record, for touchdowns in a season, and was nowhere near done because lately he's been on a clip of 4 touchdowns per game. So had he gotten to play these last 2 or 3 games, I say 2 or 3 because, had they kept winning, they may have had the luxury of resting in Week 17. There's no telling where he would have ended.
40.
And, that's a part of, why I feel so bad. It's it's only his second year, but you never know what happens in the NFL. This could end up being the kid's best year ever, the best statistics he would have had if he finished the 17-week season. It's just a crazy situation, but we must move on. A lot of Eagles fans don't know how to move on. They don't want to move on. A lot of people given up. They jump ship. But what do you think, B. Austin? Now steps in Nick Foles, who actually had to step in to a big back-and-forth game that was nowhere near won when he got in it on Sunday. So what do you think the prospects are for this 11-2 team with Nick Foles at the helm?
I'm going to go back and say one of the reasons that I feel so bad for Carson Wentz is when we look at the guys that he compares favorably to, the first that comes to mind being God, and then second being Luck, and then all time being Elway. So basically you got him, the God, Luck, and one of the all-time gods, the table of gods, John Elway. It's like, I look at this kid, and you don't want to count on, because if you look at Aaron Rodgers, right, and you look at Andrew Luck, similar skill set, similar athleticism. Now look at the career arc. You can't count on being able to be Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers takes doo-doo and dookie and goes to the playoffs with it. Like, his teams are terrible. This is a case where Carson Wentz is surrounded by not what I would call a great team, but a very good team. Salute to Howie Roseman for bringing in tools and weaponry to surround this kid. And who knows if that sticks for next season and the season after and the season after that. You don't know. You would like to think that we've built something in Philadelphia that will last for at least half a decade. So that brings us to Nick Foles. Putting on my analyst hat, trying to make the feelings subside, because I was high on Carson Wentz almost from day one. And if I feel if he lives to his potential, like, he could be something very, very, very special in the NFL. Nick Foles, to me, is a good starting NFL quarterback in the right scheme. And, battling back my woe is me Philadelphia sports fan who just thinks that the bus drove off a cliff and we're at the bottom of a ravine in a burning bus about to die and get roasted in gasoline flames. And being objective, this team is going to go 2-1 in the remaining 3 games, I believe. I believe they're going to get home field advantage.
Giants, Raiders, Cowboys.
The Giant, and the only reason that I would see us losing the last game is if we have home field. You have to rest folks. You gotta rest folks and allow the cockroaches, aka the cow bums, to win one, right? And so I could see the last time we saw Nick Foles, he was leading a playoff team as an Eagle. The last time we saw him as an Eagle, he was leading a playoff team, I believe, and he left the field with a lead against an all-time great NFL quarterback in Drew Brees. He did his job and had a decent lead. If you scheme properly, the difference between Nick Foles and Carson Wentz is what happens when the team is quote unquote off schedule. When you're behind, when you're 3rd and long, which is more than 3rd and 5, you don't have any worries with Carson Wentz.
I was just about to say that, B. The biggest difference we're going to notice is going to be on 3rd downs.
Yeah, on 3rd down. On 3rd down, how much does that expose our defense? Is our defense really as good as we think it is? Or if the offense, is coming off the field and they have to play more, do we see some chinks in the armor of the defense because they're not as well rested as usual? So other players are going to have to step up and are going to have to really play big. And Nick Foles is going to have to rise to the occasion, which I believe he can, because if you look at his tenure in Philly, he was a suitable starting quarterback who didn't play on a team this talented. Like, I believe if you have Nick Foles, like, never mind Carson Wentz, if Nick Foles is your starter for an entire season, I believe that this Eagles team is a playoff team. It's not a Super Bowl contender, probably, by any stretch, but it's a playoff. I see this as a 10-6, 11-5 team with Nick Foles as your quarterback in the right system. And remember, he's very familiar with Peterson. They was in Kansas City. Peterson knows him from Philly. He was there when he was drafted. I'm not sure. And Peterson is a quarterback's coach. And one of the things he said I found interesting was when Nick Foles came in the game, he called passing plays. He wanted to show the team, hey, we're not going to stop being aggressive because our backup can throw the ball. He's a shotgun, gunslinging quarterback who has arm talent. He doesn't have the rest of the athletic talent, but he has arm talent. He has arm talent. So, now Alshon Jeffries, you got your extension. Aguilar, you're no longer Aguilar. You're not an African. You're an African. We have Ertz. We have Trey Burton, who was balling. Who knew? Mac Wilds, number 10. I mean, we have weapons on the outside and weapons in the interior, and the running game is impeccable in terms of a three-headed monster. I feel good with the cornerback play, with the D-line. Like, my biggest worry is actually the linebackers. They've been playing very well, but I feel like we're thin. We're a little thin there, and we're a little thin on corner depth. But the starting corners are ballers. The starting safeties are ballers. Like, I feel good. Like, I feel like there's a playoff win in our future with Nick Foles at the helm. Super Bowl, probably not.
My feelings don't predict wins and losses. My feelings are just, not so fast. It's not over yet.
Despair. Yeah,
everybody, it's over. It's completely over. Rival fans are on there. You're not going to get it now.
Dev, you said something interesting, Dev. You said Nick Foles is better than Case Keenum, and I totally agree with that.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to those points. Like I said. So my feelings are basically it's not, it's not necessarily over yet. Even if they go into the playoffs one and done and lose, it's like, for me, it's like the game probably whoever they end up playing, it could probably still go either way, and it would have been the same way had we had our quarterback. Of course, you would rather have Carson Wentz going into that situation. I just have a feeling that it's not over yet. Like you said, I mean, you've already mentioned all the reasons that Nick Foles can be successful under a Doug Peterson-led team. And like I was telling you the other day, first of all, he doesn't have to catch lightning in a bottle for a long time. So if we can get Nick Foles to take a page out of the Case Keenum book and just go out there with the confidence, like you were the starter from day one, the confidence that you can lead a team to where they need to be, there's a possibility that we can still get lucky in all of this. And yes, I think Nick Foles is a better quarterback than Case Keenum. If you were to ask me which one I would take if they both were available, I would take Nick Foles. Now, that doesn't say anything to how Case Keenum is playing right now, because he's playing lights out and he's keeping the other Minnesota quarterbacks that it seems like the franchise wants to put into the game. He's keeping them at bay with his performances. But I think I'd feel much more comfortable going into battle with a Nick Foles. Now, a lot of people out there are going to talk about Nick Foles and his tenure with the Rams. But I asked those folks to riddle me this: when's the last time any quarterback has looked the part or played up to their potential in a Jeff Fisher-led team? Can anybody answer that for me?
Yo, Jeff Fisher is the Mike Brown of the NFL. He interviews amazing, but he is treducking in terms of offensive efficiency and coaching. So I don't believe, and you know what? Not even going deeper than Fisher. Look at the talent. Look at the defensive talent and the offensive talent and how it was deployed in scheme in that Jeff Fisher. In that Jeff Fisher-led team, and that answers your question as to why Nick Foles performed the way he did. Because no one said that Nick Foles was, carry a franchise type of quarterback. So I feel you. I put that squarely on Jeff Fisher.
Right. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, everybody's come through his system, and those same guys go somewhere else, and they light it up. Jeff Fisher leaves, and they bring in a young, fresh offensive mind, and their offense becomes – I mean, even Goff. You look at Goff. People were ready to write him off as a bust.
I said Goff was turducken.
Yeah, Goff is tough.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is tough. So, scheme, system, coaching means a lot in this game. But, let's go to the phone lines because I see, we got some people waiting on the line. I think we got one of the we got one of the Philadelphia Eagles fans from out on the West Coast who's probably ready to jump off the
cliff.
The cliff because he has some kind of personal problem with Nick Foles in the first place. So let's go to Rob out in Cali. Rob, what's up, Rob?
Corny.
Yo, man, what's up, man?
You call in to bash Nick Foles?
A.K.A. Fireproof, man. It's your boy Big Rob, A.K.A. You know what I'm saying? Fly like an eagle. It's your boy Big Rob, A.K.A.
The hater.
Yo, man. Concrete feet because I'm not going to jump off the cliff. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? So you think it's over for your birds?
I never said it's over. Like, I look at some statistics. If you look at Nick Foles' last 10 games, he actually turned the ball over double digits more than he has thrown a touchdown.
Who did he play for in his last 10 games? Who did he play for?
I said his last 16 games. Actually,
who did he play for most of them
games? Starting. Us. If you look, he played, 11 games for the Rams, and before that season, he played for he played for the Chiefs.
Okay.
Then he played for the Rams, he started for the Chiefs one game. He played for the Rams 11 games. And
all right, and you said 16, so most of those are with other teams, right?
12.
What did he do the last time he was with us? The last time he was in Philly?
Numbers don't.
Not only did wait a minute, Rob. Like B. Austin said earlier, not only did he leave. Can you hear me, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. Not only did he leave our last playoff game with a lead that special teams and defense blew, but during that next season before he was injured, when he was playing nowhere near to the level that he played the year before, he still left the team with a 6-2 record. So it's like, if you're going to have confidence in a backup, then maybe this is one of those guys. Like, we're not just saying, Nick's going to come and carry the Eagles to the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is I don't think that it's just totally over just because Nick Foles. Like, even if we go in and lose the first game, I don't think we're going to go into that game and just get dominated because Carson Wentz is not here and Nick Foles is here.
But he still led the league in turnovers, Dan. You see, we have to stop. We have to not act like. We have to stop always look at the numbers. We have to look at the numbers.
You just told me numbers don't lie.
We should solely look at the numbers. We need to look at the numbers and progression. When you turn over the ball,
so you don't want to. You want to look at the full context. So let me ask you this again. Let me ask you this again, which I know you were tuned in. What happens to quarterbacks in Jeff Fisher's system?
That is true. That is true. You know what? That is true. Arguably, Jeff Fisher really is. He's
a quarterback. He's a quarterback.
He's a run-first coach.
So when you put Nick Foles in a situation where your scheme and your personnel allows him to do what he does best, which is show his arm talent and throw the ball, is he Carson Wentz? Hell no. Nick Foles is a serviceable to good NFL starter. If Nick Foles was given the keys to an offense where he was allowed to play his game and was surrounded by talent, I think Nick Foles could break into your top 15 QBs. Is he top 10? Probably not. But he's a top 15.
Then why couldn't he start in Kansas City? Then why couldn't he start over
Because
Alex
he's
Smith?
not better than Alex Smith.
Then
Why would he start over Alex Smith? They brought Alex Smith in there to be the starter. It wasn't a quarterback competition. Alex Smith was their starter.
But he's talking about top 15 quarterback. Listen.
No. Finish with listen.
He said he could be in the right scheme.
I said in the right system. If you're not playing in the right system and you're playing in Jeff Fisher's system, how is that going to showcase your talent? Because they don't even spend money on the things needed to make Nick Foles successful. You're not going to give him big wide receivers, good route runners. You're just throwing anybody out there at the receiver position, anybody out there at the tight end, and investing in a running game and defense. They spent all their money on the defensive side of the ball. When he has in the right system, he's a serviceable. He's an average to above average starting quarterback. That's what we've seen with him in the system that favors his talent.
We've seen more than that, though, B. We've seen 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a visit to the Pro Bowl. We've seen more than average to above average at his best. We saw him throw 7 touchdowns against the Raiders. Not just, anybody just doesn't do that. I'm not, he's not an all-time great, but the fact that it could happen, he has something inside of him that Doug Peterson needs to bring out for the next 6 weeks or so. Period.
Okay, I agree because I want to touch on something y'all touched on last week. But I'm going to say this. One, I hear made a comment that is there a quarterback that can lead you to a playoff game? Yes. Super Bowl? I agree. And you know what? Do I think he can lead us to the Super Bowl? Hell to the no. We want one, yes. And if he does, it will be because of the team. If not, then he's everything I thought he would be. Everything I said he would be. Okay.
So how are you predicting that, though? How are you predicting, what it's going to be? Because
but if we fail, it's going to be on him. Okay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. How are you predicting it? How are you already going to put failure on him and success on everybody else? He might go out there and play lights out. He might be our Jeff Hostetler. You never know. The odds are not with us for it to be that, but you can't just say off the bat, if we fail, it's going to be on him. If we succeed, it's going to be the rest of the team. You have no idea how the next 6 weeks are going to play out.
You just don't like Dude. You don't like Dude. He must have smanged your girl.
He done already gave him the failure. If we mess up, it's on both.
Because I really want to talk about what y'all talking about last week. But my dad is a New Yorker. You don't think I heard about forget about Jeff Hostler, just the idea of next man up. Like my pop always told me, you have to have depth no matter at what position. And I understand that. But I understand that, yes, he may not be as good as Carson Wentz. And guys have won together with their weapons, and not like overrated quarterbacks have won Super Bowls with their weapons. We can go all the way from Eli to Kurt Warner and stuff like that who won solely on their weapons. But the difference between those guys and Nick Foles is that they're Hall of Famers. Nick Foles is not even a top 15 quarterback. To me, I'm sorry.
Jeff Hostetler not a Hall of Famer?
Yo, what are you talking about, man?
I was born with, but anyways, I think I was. But anyways, move on. But we all talked about last week about the whole protest thing, and I kind of understand Dev on it. I kind of understand, and I did understand what B. Austin was coming from, and so I couldn't call in the fires and stuff. My fault, but
no problem.
I understand that, okay. To be honest, let's be honest.
Yeah, hurry up, Rob.
They were the players for protesters were in a very powerful position because now the protesters affect their money. In a capitalistic white supremacist society, once you affect somebody's money, you know, then they got like folks are gonna pay attention to you. They were in a strategic position to make things happen, and to me, that they did get paid off. It is a sellout move, yes, because there's a lot of things they could do. They could have introduced legislation. They could have asked, what do you call it? Something to contribute to the poverty in the city. They could have done a lot of things. But what
if they use that money to contribute to poverty, then it's contributing to poverty. But that's what's up.
They're not. Oh, come on, Jeff. We know that money ain't going to shit. Come on, man. Let's stop bullshitting. Let's stop bullshitting.
I don't know that. And this is a family show. Watch your mouth. I don't know that.
I apologize.
But you think they're just gonna steal it?
It ain't going nowhere. It's up.
You think the players are gonna steal the money?
Oh,
that's essentially what you're saying. So you think these 40 players in this coalition just got together so they can steal some money?
Yeah, but how many of them left? Well, how many of them left? Why don't you have Kaepernick in there? Why don't you have Kaepernick in there?
Kaepernick not a part of the NFL no more.
He still left the coalition.
He's suing the league. Do you think the league is going to sit across the table from Kaepernick and bargain with him? He's suing the league. What part of that do people not understand? He is suing the league for collusion. And I'm all the way on his side with that. I don't even want to talk about this right now, but I don't understand what people don't understand. If I'm suing you, Rob, we're not going to sit across the table and discuss other business. I'm suing you right now. We're probably not even allowed to talk to each other right now. I'm suing you. How is Kaepernick going to be at the table? You tell me, Rob. Yes, Q.
Even with his exclusion, $100 million. Even then, $189 million payoff. Instead, they're in a strategic position, and all they're going to do is $89 million that's going to get skimmed to go somewhere else. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's supposed to go to community organizations. It's supposed to go to trying to get legislation. It's supposed to go to education. It's supposed to go to quote unquote black causes in the hood. If it doesn't and they steal it, then okay, I guess you're a prophet. But essentially, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready to say, oh man, these dudes gonna steal that money. They gotta prove that to me first. You gotta prove to me that you're a thief.
I'm from California.
All right, Rob, we gotta go, baby. We appreciate
in the 1970s, when Crips and Bloods were invented, that's what the poverty pimps did. They stole the community funding and put it somewhere else, man. The game never changes.
What the hell they got to do with the NFL players?
Rob, we appreciate you, bro. We got to roll. Next subject.
Free Carson Wentz.
Oh, man.
Well, what's your man
the only reason
about,
you're going to win. Look who I got on my side.
Your team weak.
What team weak, yo?
All right, man. Yeah, so moving forward.
Oh, man.
Just not, I just think, people are too quick to just write the whole situation off. But we're going to move on because Jimmy just don't even talk to us when we're talking about football.
Yo.
Jimmy, you can chime in. You've seen Nick Foles play before.
What can I say to what Rob was saying, man? I'm just over here.
No, I'm saying because we're not talking about like what's going on in football, X's and O's. You've seen Foles play. You've seen, you know what I mean? You got an opinion on that.
But we all know how Rob feel about the ball, man. Like Rob just don't like the ball, man.
Yo,
you know what I mean? We knew what that was going.
You might see me all blue, all red every day. I'm 50 Tyson.
And by the way, that was not me. That was not Dev. It was somebody else. He gonna blame Dev anyway. This is true.
I don't know what that was about. We're talking about people who stole money back in the Panther days. Like, yo, all right. I was confused. All right, man. So, yeah. Speaking of, one guy going down. One guy's back. Aaron Rodgers is back, and you know, a lot of people out there think that might not bode well for all of these teams that we're talking about anyway. Philadelphia, Minnesota, the Rams, all those people at the top. The fact that the Packers were able to stay afloat without him, does that scare you in any way, B?
Yo,
do you think he could possibly come in, run the table, get into the playoffs, and just shut all this talk up?
I've already, and we are well documented, and I think that, you know, I'm speaking for me, but I might as well be speaking for everybody involved in the entire War Room Sports organization. Yo, Aaron Rodgers is God on the football field, man. Like, I'm not betting against dude. I don't want to see that dude. Yeah, I don't want to see that dude because his team isn't good. Like, he gets Devontae Adams interviews. Like, people think Devontae Adams is good. He's just athlete number 17. Like, he's not even like, dude is amazing. He does all of this with no running game, with a running back that wears number 88. Like, we in little like, I don't want no problems. As I said, he's not the greatest quarterback of all time, but he's the best quarterback of all time. And we can discuss that difference, but we can't do it right now. But he's the best.
Yeah, so, you know, I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, I think teams, you know, by not putting them away, they might be putting the NFC in jeopardy, you know, with that guy coming back into the mix. But who knows? Even the guard might be rusty. So, you know, we'll see how that plays out over the next few weeks. One last thing before we get into another hot-button topic that Jimmy Ken rapped to us about. Devin Hester is calling it quits.
So,
yeah, he's not even on a roster. The thing is, Devin Hester, I don't know if he got old or if he was just legislated out of the games because you don't see many kickoff returns at least right now because they moved the kickoff up 5 yards. It's a lot of touchbacks.
He got old, man.
I mean, but I still think it was a mixture of both. Like, Devin Hester did seem like he was losing a step, but he's still Devin Hester. He could be dangerous enough to get you some field position, not necessarily score a bunch of touchdowns like he used to. But I just wanted to ask you guys this. We haven't had one of these in a long time. HOF versus FOH. And we don't talk much about returners when we talk about Hall of Fame. So y'all think Devin Hester will have a bust in the Hall of Fame, or will he have to buy a ticket?
Funds on hold. The only kick returner I'm putting in the Hall, well, two of them, Reno Mahe and Vi Sikahema. But no, I don't. Devin Hester was not impactful enough in the main facets of the game for me to put him in the Hall. And just to kind of touch on what you said, I know you kind of your entire dialogue and discourse was based on the kick return, which is, you know what?
I thought that was all he did.
Nah, I've
seen him line up.
Looking at the fact.
Actually, he came into the league as a cornerback.
No, he was turducken as a cornerback. He was.
They moved him to wide receiver, where he was also turducken.
Yo, whoever was the worst cornerback that we've ever seen, yo, he's turducken. No, but what I was gonna say is the reason I know athletically he's done is because there was a time when I'm not punting to that dude either. And they don't even put him out there on punt return. So I know athletically he was done. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was done. Like, if he's the Devin Hester that we came to be excited about, you putting that ball back on punt return and kick return and putting him back there on long field goals to make something everything out there where he can touch the ball in a kicking situation. And that just wasn't the case. On kick returns, like you said, he knew how to set up blocks well enough to get good field position, but athletically he's been done for about 4 seasons, I would say.
I think I'm gonna go the other way.
I don't remember when last time the boy. Go ahead, Dad. You can go the other way because you already know how I feel.
I think I might go the other way on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm ignoring his turduckenness as a corner and a wide receiver because they were just trying to put the man on the field somewhere just because he was that athletic. I look at him as a kick returner and a punt returner, and that's it. And as that, he may have been the best who's ever done it.
He wasn't better than Beer Truck.
Beer Truck ain't last long enough. So, he ain't last long enough. Devin Hester, by the numbers, might be one of the best who's ever done it. So, as a kick returner, as a punt returner, I think I will put him in the Hall of Fame.
My thing is, no, FOE. Don't even you got to cop a ticket. You're not even coming close. You shouldn't even get nominated for the Hall, B. Because if I put you in, I got to put a gang of kickers in before you because they mean more to special teams than, your little, how many, what do you got, little 30? So what do you got?
Exciting, though.
36.
They're not exciting, but, my thing is, if I let him in, it's a gang of kickers I got to put in, too, who are real crucial.
Remember, you could tell the story without, telling me how many field goals this one boy made. But this cat,
I can tell the story with him, too, though, because none of his kicks were really meaningful, for real.
They had some time at the Bears. They went to a Super Bowl one time. He did a lot that season.
I'm not going to sit and argue with you because I have the facts in front of me, but I can almost assume,
you man trying to help. You trying to help boy out, man.
No,
because it's not even for me. It's not even about meaningful, but because
what I'm saying is Eric Metcalf had a lot of amazing and great plays. What about the human joystick? He had more exciting plays.
Honestly,
but these dudes, these same guys that y'all naming, their runs were too short.
Honestly, no.
Their brain on the top was short like leprechauns.
No, what I'm saying is exciting doesn't just to me. It has to be more than just
the best
exciting.
kick returner of all time was boring as I don't know what. And y'all
Brian
gonna be mad. Brian Mitchell, the best kick returner.
Yo, he just runs straight until he can't no more.
He just runs straight until somebody tackles him.
When you think about it scientifically, that's probably the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
His fastest way to any point is in a straight line. So.
Yeah, it's probably the smartest thing to do. Nothing really fancy, but I'm gonna get the most yards I can until I can't. I ain't trying to take it to the house. If I do, I do. But if I don't, guess what?
Running straight takes away a lot of the holding penalties because them dudes hold because they don't know what direction you're going in. They just blocking, and then the defender tries to go that way, and you got to hold them because you didn't know he was about to go that way.
Brian Mitchell got 14,000 return yards.
Damn. How you get 14,000?
Who got 14,000?
Brian Mitchell.
That's hilarious.
You're from running straight.
He got 14,000 straight.
Oh, man, listen, man, it's a life lesson in there somewhere. To be honest, I didn't feel how to put it in bars yet. But listen, man, be Brian Mitchell in life, man. Just go straight, yo.
No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it, there. I can't. I enjoyed watching.
I already heard that.
He was fun. He was great to watch.
I've seen better.
You brought up the dude. The human joystick. I would put him in, and he definitely don't deserve. But some of the things I saw him do,
he's the most exciting kick returner I've ever seen.
He gotta go. He was Barry Sanders with it.
He disrespected my squad several. He's had people running into each other.
I think
he was only good for 3 minutes.
What's his name? Dante Hall.
Yeah, Dante Hall. He was only
Dante Hall was the most amazing football player in the world for 90 days.
You know what? We kind of off with that because Dante Hall got 10,000 yards on kick.
That was all in 90 days.
He got 10,000 yards on 7 kick returns. He's damn sure.
So this is what I understand now. So do you just wouldn't put any kick returner in the Hall? Because you mentioned Brian Mitchell. Would you put him in the Hall of Fame?
Brian Mitchell. All right.
Because your man got over 14,000 yards too.
Objectively, I'm close on Brian Mitchell, but I don't like boy attitude, so I probably wouldn't. I don't want to disrespect our segment.
I kind of agree with B. Austin because I'm close on Brian Mitchell, but not there. But also because Brian Mitchell was just a good football player outside of kick returns.
Yeah.
He was just one of those. He's like I would equate him to.
He was a utility dude.
Yeah, he was a good football player. I'm still not putting him in, but I'm closer on him than I am the highlight ball. But it's difficult for me to put any special teams player. That's what I was talking about. If I put him in, I gotta open it up for a lot of kickers. It's sort of like drafting a kicker when you draft in fantasy football. You respect the trash.
I totally agree with y'all about Ball being poo-poo as a wide receiver, but he did have 250-plus catch seasons.
That's because they was forcing the ball to.
You stole the words out of my mouth.
Why would you force the ball to him? Why would you do that?
Because once he get the ball in his hands.
Not really.
Listen, man.
Not really.
When he played with what's that trash ball? Jake Cutler, that trash ball.
Because he wasn't like a jukey dude either. Like he pick a direction and just go.
None of those passes probably were He wasn't Dante Hall Shakems or even Dion, but
he was nowhere near Dante Hall. I'm telling you, that
nobody
is speed.
He
ran straight, but he was fast. Brian Mitchell ran straight, wasn't fast, and still had success.
But here's my thing with the ball. Like one thing I can say is when he had those 50 catches, none of them Jones probably over 10 yards. They did used to force the ball to him to try to make something happen, especially with Jake Cutler.
Yeah. He averaged
there's only two.
He averaged
13
yards per reception.
That's because he took a couple of Jones. He took a couple of Jones.
Jimmy's like they throw him like 46
Somebody go to YouTube. Somebody go to YouTube and find me a play where the ball catching the ball over 20 yards in the air.
It's too.
But that's all he was though, Jim. He was either a bubble screen or a deep threat. So he caught deep passes. Now running a route and catching a 15-yard out, nah. You ain't gonna find that.
All I remember is bubble screens. I don't remember no deep passes.
The only return man that I'm putting in the hall is Mel Gray. Mel Gray was 7 times. Mel Gray was 7 times All Pro. I gotta put him in there.
And what Mel Gray game have you ever seen? What are you talking about?
I watch Mel, man.
You know who Mel Gray is?
He's a young boy.
Melvin Gray. Who the hell is Melvin Gray?
Mel played in the 90s, man. He was all pro from 90 to 94, man. I'm putting Mel in.
He played for the Lions?
Yeah, the Detroit Lion Bowl.
I remember the name, but I don't know, man. I ain't put no Melvin Gray in.
You keep calling him Melvin.
Melvin Gray, like, did he mess with Jody, Mom?
Right. Cook eggs with no clothes on.
That's the only Melvin I respect is Jody Step Pop, man. Come on with that, man. And Melvin Flint. That's it.
He can't get in, man. He didn't work on
He got 9 touchdowns his whole life.
His touchdown.
All right, we're spending too much time on Devin Hester, so he doesn't get in. It's a 2-1 vote. He does not get into the Hall of Fame. The other hot button story of the week, and we'll take some calls on this one in a couple seconds. The quote-unquote Me Too movement has moved into the halls of the NFL Network. So there's sexual misconduct being basically being reported by one woman that names a plethora of NFL Network execs and former NFL players. Some of them Heath Evans, Marshall Faulk, Donovan McNabb, Warren Sapp. It's a lot of them. I'll get a list in a minute.
My man Marshall Falker. He tried to Marshall Falker.
Marshall was wildin'.
So what are some of the the stories that you guys heard on this, and what do you think? Like, because all of this is coming from one woman. I don't know if there are other women throughout the NFL Network who are afraid to speak up, or who are maybe about to speak up since she led the way. But it seems like she was the target of a lot of sexual innuendo, flirting.
I can't say what I'm thinking.
Occasional touching.
I can say
like
a couple
that.
things. A couple things I won't say.
I
those
can't.
Are private conversations.
I know that Donovan McNabb is guilty though. For all y'all black people, he sent a text to her and said, "Do you squirt? Are you a squirter?" He's guilty. He did it. He did it.
Whatever they said he did it.
He did it. He did it. It was him.
So all I'm saying is she must have been like summer camp sex, because there can't be too many women that work there. Not saying that's right for anybody that jumps down my throat walls. It's just that for her to get all this, man, listen. And also, man, you gotta understand these dudes are former pro athletes who probably had this probably worked for them all
Entitlement
their life.
issues.
It's probably worked for them all their life.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some entitlement issues.
How many women out there, and if any of y'all are guilty of it, call up. How many women out there actually fell for Donovan's line? Donovan used it before, and it was, we ain't gonna hear about them. It's probably some chicks who saw the story like, he told me that. Yo,
somebody was about it.
Yo, so my thing is, you have the entitlement issue right there. They're pro athletes who probably use some of this. Like Marshall was just like drawn though. If the stories that were told about him were true, Marshall was way out of pocket. My man Warren Sapp, basically admitted to getting her gifts, but he also is saying that it's probably CTE. I mean, it's a lot going on, man. Like that, this is a sports company, so it's like a lot of male energy there. All these guys are pros. You know what I mean? She got a summer camp sexy thing going on. Or maybe she. No, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say that line because it could be taken the wrong way. Let's put it that way.
Yo,
Skyview, shout out to him. This was the old conversation, but he said Desmond Howard was a beast on kick returns for a stint.
Yeah, he was.
He got the Super Bowl.
He was, but no.
If it wasn't for him, Favre wouldn't have a ring. That's all I'm gonna say. But go ahead.
Stop doing that.
That's a fact. Desmond Howard and Reggie White really won the bowl, but that's either here nor there.
So, all right. So we've been asking over the past couple months, like, basically who's next, what industry is going to be next, because this thing is going from Hollywood to the music industry, now into professional sports media. This is just the year of sexual misconduct, not necessarily the year of the sexual misconduct, but the year of the reporting of sexual misconduct. We spent all last year saying who's next as far as who's going to die, because it seems like everybody who was famous died last year. Like, we don't have any more famous people left because they all died in 2016. 2017 was a whole new beast. And a lot of these companies, because of, trying to show, which is probably a fake moral compass, but trying to show a moral compass, they're just making moves, either suspending or firing people without any kind of due process. Do you guys think, because McNabb isn't even with the network anymore, but he's been suspended from ESPN while his name has been embroiled in this NFL Network thing. Do y'all think y'all ever see him on TV again?
I hope not. I mean, he's guilty of being a sexual assaulter. He's guilty of low character. His integrity is definitely in question from a couple of incidents previously.
All right, but let's be. I know, but let's be. I know a lot of that is serious, but I know a little bit of that is, your thing with McNabb. Like, first of all, now I'm pleading ignorance on this. Now, what he did, is that actually considered sexual assault, or is that like misconduct? Is there a difference? Is there a line drawn? Because truthfully, and we've spoken about this before, we've grown up in a culture where a lot of this stuff, most people will be like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with that. And that's wrong in itself. Not defending that, but that's just the culture that we've come up in. So I don't know, is there a difference between misconduct and assault? Because sexual assault just sounds so serious. Like, he didn't touch anybody. He didn't take any goods. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He asked the chick if she was a squirt.
Yeah, no, it's not the same as sexual assault. It is sexual misconduct. It is improper. It is disrespectful. But you don't want to put it on the level of sexual assault. But here's the thing, right? So, and this can apply for all of us. So I don't even want to say this as if I'm being a hypocrite, because I'm sure there are times growing up in the cultures that we've grown up with that we have been guilty of misconduct. But the question that has to be asked is this something?
I'll be the pappy.
Is this something that you would want a male to say, text, or do to your mom, your daughter, your aunt, your grandma? And if it's not, then you already know what it is. So I'd be damned if some random dude is texting my mom, "Are you a squirter?" So McNabb,
Yo,
you don't want somebody
out of
texting
pocket.
Wilma, is she a squirter? Like,
Definitely
you
out of
know
pocket.
You're out of pocket.
And people aren't going to like my next question. And I'm just asking questions to further the conversation, play a little devil's advocate. But and it's not victim blaming, so I got to throw all that out there. But if so many people were dealing with the same woman, like I'm just trying to get a feel for how this was allowed to happen throughout all of these years. Was there a time where she was flirting back and then drew the line at some point?
I think it's
was she just the only woman there? Because I think she was like makeup or
is there any truth to the fact that she was just fired?
Then because I think the whole thing came from what do you call it? What's the joint when you get fired and you think it's not right? I forgot what the legal term for it is.
Improper termination?
Improper termination or something like that, yeah. So I think the whole thing stemmed from that. I think she was she was filing a lawsuit against the NFL Network for improper termination, and then she just went on her Nino Brown. Like, if I'm going down, then a whole lot of people going down with me.
Yeah.
So
and that's probably what it is.
There's motive.
Was like, look, I put up with this.
It's not 100% true. There's motive.
She would say, "You're not gonna fire me. I'm putting up with all this, and you got a nerve to try to fire me? No, B."
Right. So it's just weird. So it's either she was the only woman around, either at some point, she smiled and let it go, making these people comfortable. And sometimes that happens, even if you don't want it. You just feel like your job or your safety might be in jeopardy if you just don't smile it off and laugh it off. Or it might be a situation where there's others there and they're either still not willing to come out and say anything, or they might jump on board now, now that she's taking the lead, and we might hear more things in the long run.
It's just wild to me when you see how many people in how many different industries and how many things like this has had. Like, yo, our whole world is just horny, yo. Like, the whole world is, B. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I blame Adam and Eve. I blame everything on Adam and Eve.
Yo.
Everything negative, I blame on Adam and Eve.
These days, you gotta blame Adam and Steve, but regardless, it's just the whole world is wild horny right now, man. Like, I don't know what's coming in 2018, man, but this has been a crazy year, man.
Guys is just straight up like it's okay to rock out with my cock out, hang out with my wang out. She should understand, and that's not.
And Marshall Falk wasn't even trying to, share intimate time. He just wanted some, you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with him, yo?
Toppy, sloppy.
What's wrong with Marshall, yo?
Yo, I don't know. Marshall is the description of what he did is completely opposite of what his personal brand is. Not that.
No, I agree with you.
That isn't the case for most guys, but Marshall comes off as the complete gentlemanly nerd. Like,
I completely
So
agree
what were
with
some of the things he was accused of? Because I am not super well versed on everything that's happened.
whipping it out and saying, "Look,
just whipping it out like, yo, when you put this in your mouth?"
Put your mouth on it.
They say he wasn't even his advances were even about like Yamage. He was just trying to get top, like to the point where he was like, yo. He said he pinned her up against the wall and told her, like, yo, you gonna stop it. Yeah. He told that.
Marshall?
That's what I'm saying. That's not like his brand. It's never been his brand, like, since we've seen him his entire career.
Right. And I do know that Warren Sapp, a part of his accusations were he bought her, like, sex toys for Christmas or something like that.
Yeah. Then he tweeted out a pic of it. Like, this is what I got.
Then he went out tweeting it to everybody to show what he bought because he don't think it's that bad. He said he actually never bought one for her. He said he bought some for some of the other ladies. So if she got one, she must have got it from them. So first of all, this sounds like listen, y'all. This sounds like Warren Sapp probably called these other ladies before he said this. And was on some, y'all not about to, come out and do the same thing, right? We still cool? We good?
Yo.
Yeah, all right. Then came out and said, look, I bought them for them. If she got one from them. I didn't get one.
Yo, I didn't insult her. I insulted her. Yo, come on, Warren. First of all, Warren, yo, you gotta pay your toots, man. Warren's out of pocket because he ain't paid that toot, man. His whole because I used to like Warren on TV.
Yo, fuck is wrong with him?
Right. So let's go to the phone line because I think we got the homie Naj waiting. I see the 404 on here. Naj, what's going on, good brother? You're in the war room.
Ain't nothing, man. What's good with y'all?
Yo, man,
Nothing
don't
much,
be an
man.
assaulter, nah. Don't be an assaulter.
Yeah, that's the word for the day, man. You know what I mean? Put that on the scroll under the screen so folks kind of get up to date on the new that's going out here in the world. And y'all hit on the point, man. Like, if you grow up with certain entitlements as an athlete, because I know, like, my college years, slapping.
Oh my God, yo, don't incriminate
like
yourself.
No, I'm just saying, like,
let him talk
about it though. Just think about it. That behavior nowadays, you might be put up on a board for, disciplinary reasons. Like, they might be talking about kicking you out of school and all of that. So all that behavior that people used to get away with, that's out the window. And the biggest thing, like, I rail against social media all the time, but I think social media, the one good aspect of it is people who've been abused and assaulted got to see how many people had that same experience. And then that led to, more discussion. And then before you knew it, you started seeing more coalitions. And now women are actually coming out in force and going after people about this. Now, the one mistake people are making is they're assuming that people getting caught means progress automatically. No, it doesn't. If we want to go with how Americans typically act, we may see less women involved in certain industries as far as just getting hired. And we see kind of a freeze out on them as opposed to acting justly. Does that have any corollaries of black people out there? Now, I could see that more likely to happen than this being, people changing their behavior and acting right around women. But the football players, or at these stations, we've seen that ESPN book, so we knew that frat house stuff was still going on. And now some of these folks got to pay the piper. Like, look, dude, you're in a corporate setting. Either you're going to act like it or you won't be able to work here. Like, the Donovan McNabb commentary is not a necessity for any network. Like, you're not really bringing that work out here, bro. Like, you're here because of your name and who you are, but you're not here because you're a great communicator or you got great takes. So, yeah, athletes are really going to have to get their stuff together, man. And, this is stuff that shouldn't even have to be taught, at a certain level. 25, you kind of see where somebody, as it's matured to a certain level. But when you're a grown-ass retired man, come on, bro. It's all type of places where that behavior is not only encouraged, but that behavior is beneficial, but not at work.
I recall being in situations with certain teammates of mine that just would basically take the JR route in all situations. Either every response to an attractive female would be, well, you want the pipe? You trying to get the pipe? Or we would be in line in like the punch out or something, and they would see somebody and they would just whip it out, and nothing happened from that. Like, I can't incriminate, but like, so the entitlement that ties to a culture of sexual misconduct amongst males is rampant to a point where we may not even be aware of what we're in because we're in it. Like, it's crazy.
No, I mean, like everything that's going on recently, it opens your eyes to certain things. You're like, damn, we used to do that. Like I didn't know that was that bad. Like, you just feel bad. Like, you just want to go apologize to every woman that you know because little things that you may have said you thought were so innocent and just,
witty.
Yeah, just witty. Like, people are losing their careers for that kind of stuff right now. So it's definitely a culture, and we were brought up in that culture.
And the worst part about it is the times that behavior was rewarded. In the means of y'all know us to a certain degree, dudes, man. If it worked one time, bruh, I'm about to pull that move as many times as I can because that might kick it off. And those nights where nothing go down, then you're on the way home talking about, dang, I should have went ahead and tried it. And now you look at that and you're like, man, that is not only immature, raggedy behavior, but what? It's borderline.
She probably was with it. I ain't even tried.
Right.
It's some young ladies out there fell for that line that McNabb pulled. Like they when they heard the news, they was like, "Oh, he got me with that."
I just wanted to prove him wrong.
Man.
I wanted to prove him that I could.
This also shows that privilege is a damn detriment to game. So your game doesn't develop as fully as it should because you're walking around with, your athletic career or whatever prestige you got and using that to pull. So when that falls off, what are you doing? You flashing money?
You ain't
or
no mouthpiece.
trying to flash who you are because that game is still lacking. Blame the uncles and the fathers. Didn't teach the young man well enough. You know what I'm saying?
So, Naj, real quick, what do you think about the Carson Wentz situation? Think the Eagles are done? Think it's over?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to get in there.
Dream deferred?
It's hard. More than likely, I mean, you go from a Super Bowl contender to just another playoff team. Like, I don't think anybody's going to look at them as a favorite. But the big thing to look at is process versus production. We fall into the trap with quarterbacks of this guy had this many touchdowns, this many interceptions, this completion percentage. It's like, nah, watch the game and see what the process is. See, did he go to the right receiver? See, is he getting it into the window well enough? See if he's – like, you watch Case Keenum and you realize, like, wow, if you put a lot of talent around somebody and put them in a system that's at least beneficial to them, even an average quarterback can look pretty good. But Adam Thielen and Diggs, those guys are basically covering for his mistakes. The bad balls, the balls behind them, the balls that shouldn't have been thrown, knocking them down, make sure they don't get intercepted. And the same thing with Nick Foles. That 28-3 year he had in Philly, that was more a process versus production thing because he's not a 28-3 quarterback. As has been proven over time. But for that 1 year, things did go well. Why? Because people were making up for the mistakes that he made because he played on a really, really good team. And Chip Kelly was kind of ahead of the curve a little bit as far as scheme. So, the same thing exists right now. Philly can still win, yes, but I don't think they can win a Super Bowl because your quarterback is Nick Foles. Like, your defense would have to show themselves to be a lot better than what they have so far, even though, hell, that's a top 5 defense and damn good. They got to move to that all-time great level to take them all the way.
That Chip Kelly team was like 4-12 the year before, though, right?
Yeah, true. But all I'm saying,
it wasn't that good.
Is that one
it wasn't
year,
that good.
Those windows were there, man. That 1 year, those windows were there. We can't take it from Chip Kelly. I agree with you.
I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Chip Kelly was new, because you saw after that year when defensive coordinators got to catch up with what he was doing, and it was all over.
It was a wrap.
I think coaching
linebackers was calling out plays.
Yo, your man Chip Kelly had Jeff Mail in the NFL. He had Jeff Mail in the NFL.
He had everybody from Oregon that had a job that they shouldn't have had.
From multiple seasons.
To say my system is good enough, I just need to get my former employees over at the college and bring them over here and we can win. Like, just a raggedy.
You're absolutely nuts. But to your point, a part of what you're saying is the reason that I wholeheartedly bought into Nick Foles, because a lot of the production that fell off for him in his rookie season, to me, wasn't mistakes on his part. It was playing with wide receivers that were limbless. Like, we were playing with armless wide receivers. So it's like if you're throwing the ball to someone that doesn't have any arms, then how is he going to catch it? If Nelson Aguilar is an African instead of an African, he can't do what you're trying to get him to do, versus this season he can. So I saw a lot of the right decisions, which you're really talking about the context that surrounds the situation and the numbers. So looking deeper, that's exactly why I bought into Wentz. Nick Foles is interesting because this is a conundrum for a lot of folks. I believe Nick Foles is better than Case Keenum. He's a better football player. He's a better quarterback. He has more arm talent than Case Keenum does. And so is our defense better than the Vikings? I don't believe so. Not. I think the Vikings defense is really like they're a real. I think we're a good defense. I think they're a built, tried, tested, and true talented defense. Like they got talent, and I think we're just playing very, very well. And our D line can match up with theirs. But once you get to the linebacker level, we're not that good. So it'll be interesting to see.
D-line, but it's not the same as them. But think about this: if you play risk-averse football with Nick Foles, and you say, okay, we lose that deep ball to Alshon because we don't want to take those chances, and sometimes we're just going to have to punt it and play field position. Maybe you win, low-scoring games, but that's the best thing to do that's helpful towards winning. Honestly, what they're doing in Minnesota with Case Keenum, man, this looks like a storybook a script for him to throw 4 interceptions and them to go home because they're allowing him so much latitude
to do things he's not really going to be able to do against a good D.
So much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think you got to rein it in, let Foles do what he can do, but don't ask him to be Carson Wentz, because Wentz made windows where windows weren't, and he was putting that thing right on the button. And he also changed Aguilar's catch radius because all of a sudden, say what you want to say about offseason and him talking about his eyes and all, working on his sight and all that. It matters who's throwing you the ball and where they throw it to you. And we see that with Aguilar. Like, he became a decent slot receiver as opposed to a guy who looked like he would be washed out of the league.
Yeah. Also, with the whole Wentz thing, I think I actually forgot what I was about to say. Y'all got me on my Rob John right now. But I don't think you have to necessarily. Well, of course, some things have to change because Foles just doesn't have the same attributes as Carson Wentz. But at the same time, Peterson is from that Andy Reid school where he thinks his system trumps all. So I don't think they're just going to come in and be super conservative because Carson Wentz is gone. Like we said earlier before you came on, Naj, we think the biggest difference that anybody's going to notice is going to be on third downs, because the Eagles have been great on third downs, and a lot of those third downs have been third and longs. And even if it's not a play where Wentz is improvising, they just seem to have a knack for those situations. I think with Nick Foles in the fold, no pun intended, I think they're going to have to do much better on first and second down. So they're going to have to get the running game going to a point where, it's going to be 3rd and 4 or less instead of 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 12. And that'll go a long way to helping Nick Foles be successful.
That's not fair to put Foles in that position. And you know what else? This is the other thing. Carson Wentz,
right, because he can't do anything to let those routes develop.
People don't get that. He hasn't taken some of the crunching hits that Nick Foles has sustained over his career. So Carson Wentz sometimes climbs the pocket when it's dangerous as hell, and he's still looking to make a play, and he's
getting them
done on third and long. Nick Foles ain't got that kind of bravery because it's been beat out of him like the majority of quarterbacks. Like, he ain't out here trying to, you know what I'm saying? So
that's what I'm saying. Like, those third and long, Nick Foles is not waiting for those routes to develop. He's getting rid of the ball. So they need to be third and short.
But he's also climbing the pocket in dangerous situations. Dude, I'm talking about D linemen, breathing on your ear, and you standing there still surveying and moving.
Yo, my man is Paul Bunyan, yo.
A few of them were like climbing on his arm. I'm wondering how he didn't fumble the ball a few times. Like, Carson Wentz plays dangerous. I've always used the reckless tag when talking about him, but people tend to forget about that when he does something exciting. Sometimes you're just like, whew, like he could have got murdered on that play, and then it finally happens. On a play that was called back at that touchdown didn't even count. But we'll see what happens, man. I think, and I'm one of the Eagles fans. When it first happened, you got that thought like, man, we are cursed. It is never going to happen. Yeah. But after a few days of thinking about things, I basically, I'm a part of the contingent that's like, all right, let's slow down. It might not be over yet. Like, there's no runaway dominant teams in the NFC, so it's still possible that they can make a run. Not likely, but still possible, in my opinion.
Hey, man, y'all got to feel better than we do. Hell, we got the $100 billion quarterback back there with the pop gun arm who can't be trusted in tough situations. And I feel like if we get to the playoffs, it's like, for what? Let's go get this draft pick and get this dude up out of here. I'm tired of him.
So last thing, Nas, before we get you out of here, do you think the NFC messed up by allowing the Packers to stick around now that Aaron Rodgers is back, or do you think the Russ is going to be too much for him to make that run at this point? Because what are they, 7-6 at the moment, still in the wild card race?
He's in the same spot as Russell. Those teams aren't good enough to go all the way, but they're good enough to beat any damn body. And one-and-done situation with Aaron Rodgers, yeah, that's terrifying. 13-3 Atlanta Falcons team, Aaron Rodgers comes into the dome and beats the hell out. So, yeah, man, I don't want no part to that at all. I think he should have had to stay on the IR. I feel like they did some kind of, I don't know, man.
These damn new rules, man. People come off the IR.
Something, bro.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, as usual, man, thanks for your call. You know we appreciate it. All right, man. That's what's up. Naj always makes great points.
Absolutely.
We are like 6 million minutes past any schedule we were trying to be on. So let's talk a little bit. We can't get out of here without a ball report. Pause that. But Melo and Jello, they have signed with a team in Lithuania. They've been doing the interview circuit, especially because the Lakers were in New York to play the Knicks. So they, did a couple of shows, The Breakfast Club, a few other interviews. Do you guys get anything from these boys to say that, it looks like they are in full agreement with what their dad says, besides the fact that they say they're in full agreement with what their dad says and makes them do? Like, is there any thought in your mind that a 19-year-old and a 15, 16-year-old wants to go live and play basketball in Lithuania?
I'm gonna go real deep on this.
I'm gonna say.
I want to hear my brother Jimmy.
Yeah, I was me imitating Melo, but listen, man. I don't know if they agree, but then it's part of me feels like they don't care because if I'm 19 and I got a Lamborghini and I get to play basketball and I don't have to go to school, as crazy as it sounds, at 19, maybe look, where can I go play ball? I don't have to go to school. I get to drive around my Lamborghini and not to harass women to any. So part of me tries to put myself in the space of where they are at that age.
You're getting towed.
Yeah, you're getting torn.
Damn.
We LeVar Ball is the type of gentleman that looks for as much attention as possible, the easy road out, and people that he can control and manipulate, including those that he truly loves.
I'm going to say, there's no better person to control and manipulate than your seed.
Yeah, even those that he loves.
I got 3 slaves.
And when I look at his familial situation, I think he chose a woman from a particular culture and place that is accepting of his behavior and his way of seeing things. I think that his kids have grown up in an environment where they've seen this and accept it as being okay. Because as you say, that's their pop. So, what are they gonna say? And then it's almost as if they don't know anything else other than this. So whether it feels comfortable, uncomfortable, right or wrong, what is the definition of right or wrong for them because the person that defines right or wrong for you in most situations initially is your parent. Your parents are the ones that, so they may hear from the outside, but when they hear from the outside, because they're being manipulated from the inside, which is really their dad's voice, they're told that's hate, or they just saying this because I'm black. They would treat me differently if I'm white. They would treat it. They're against us. So because he's able to point to certain outside forces that are factual in the American experience for black men, he's able to scapegoat those things. He's kind of able to utilize that to manipulate his progeny as well as his wife, and even play on, I believe, the white guilt thing within the context of their marriage. Even it goes that far. In the boys,
I don't know. You got way deep. I don't know him enough to make that kind of.
The boys disrespect their mom. Like I've seen it.
Melo, to me, is not even mature enough to live in America. So it's like, how is he gonna make it abroad? Like,
no, but
that situation with me is crazy.
Yeah, like I do crack research, which is watching their show. But to me, it's not even as deep as like B. Austin is making it seem. For me, if I'm 18, 19, even 16 years old, and you're telling me I could play basketball, I don't have to go to school, I can drive a Lamborghini, I'm going to play ball anywhere in the world. Like if you put yourself in that headspace at that age, and then like we went through a phase where that's all we wanted to do. We didn't want to go to school. We wanted to play ball and drive cars. Like,
no, I fully understand you from that perspective. I understand that, but how? So speak on another perspective. Then, how do you look at that from a parental perspective? Like, okay, I fully get that. The boys probably don't care because they ain't got to go to school. Like, Jello don't have to go take no tests at UCLA that he was probably gonna get up and walk out of anyway. Abraham Lincoln, Jimmy, he was going Abraham Lincoln, all them Joe.
Yes, he was, yo.
And then Melo don't got to go to high school, period. So I fully get that. So let's switch it to LeVar's point of view. Like, do you think, and we can't tell anybody how to raise their son, but we all have opinions. Like, would this be something
and here's my opinion
possible
of
from you?
Ball, right? Well, my opinion of LeVar Ball is I honestly believe that we have different value systems.
Jimmy,
real quick.
Wait, hold on, Dev. If I see you doing that to Chase, I'm gonna say something. You see me doing that to Diamond, say something to me. Say something to me.
But the thing is, we all have different we have different value systems. We place a value on different things. Like we're similar, which is why we're as close as we are. Pause that. Because we value similar things, but a lot of people don't value that, and I don't want to put my value system on someone else, although I do it daily. But the fact is, in today's climate, right, it's all about popularity, money, and these things. This is what some people. This is all they care about. So if that's your measuring stick, what he's saying is, who cares about school?
Jimmy, you find an intelligent way to basically discount. Not even discount. You're finding an intelligent way to say this is the norm, and it sounds like that postmodernistic, liberal, super. What's right for you is right for you, and what's wrong for you, I can't judge that. I can't. There is right and wrong, and anything that takes you away from
but
character.
Here's the thing. I don't think there is right or wrong. I honestly disagree with that. I think it's all about vantage point and perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can say something or do something and you think is completely wrong, and because of my vantage point and perspective, it's completely right. You know what I mean? It's sort of like when you watch a movie or cartoons when we were kids. Most of the bad guys, from their perspective, they were doing the right thing. My point in saying that is he has a value system where he is nothing but money, popularity, and if that's his value system, he's doing what he has to do to stay in the news, to make money and do these things. And when has
it been conducive or productive for the human character to value attention and trivial things? Where does that help
when they get you to be the president when they get you to be a billionaire and the president of the United States, that's
but
when.
That's not. How's that like?
Because again, it's all about your value system. You're trying to place your value system on someone else.
Come on, man. You can't really.
You are. I mean, that's
serious.
essentially what you're doing.
You're not serious. You're not serious right now.
Some people.
But you didn't even hear what I said. You didn't even address what I said because your answer didn't address the question.
Okay, so my direct answer to your question is always.
Huh? We always have valued superficiality and a lack of.
When you say we, you mean we as overall people, or we as us three?
Overall people. I'm saying overall. I'm not looking at our specifics.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I would disagree.
Absolutely. You can go back to the times of Rome when who was made king was all based upon popularity. It wasn't necessarily.
What happened to the Romans?
Oh, that's over with. But it's every dynasty though. No matter what dynasty name is over with. What do you think is happening? What do you think we're in the middle of right now?
Not the Golden State Warriors.
We'll bring it back. But my point also is this though. Some people, it's their value system. They put a value system on things like, they value money, they value popularity, they value fame.
There's nothing of substance in the ball family.
I'm not saying
there's nothing of substance.
I'm not saying that it is though. But what I'm saying is, some people, that's what they value. They care about having substance. They care about things. So, to answer Dev's question, which was the original question, if you're looking at it from a parental perspective, I see it two sides. I wouldn't be anywhere near the way he is. But I grew up in a family full of alpha males, and I have uncles that love LeVar Ball. They think like LeVar Ball. And I could see if they were put in the same shoes, they would act that way. Because their value system is somewhere different than even mine. And this is what I love. I know for a fact that I know people like him. You know what I mean? So for me, I see both sides of it. I'm not saying that he's right because I wouldn't conduct myself that way.
I just have a feeling that even though those boys love to play ball and ain't got to go to school and all that kind of stuff, they're going to be miserable in Lithuania.
They in for a rude awakening between the 5 members of our esteemed company. We know at least 100 professional basketball players, most of which do not play in the NBA. They're about to be miserable.
Stuff changes in a foreign land, like when the quote unquote vacation is over. Like, I've been places and I'd be there the whole week or more for a vacation, and everything's cool because everything is I'm in a little bubble. Everything's controlled. You know what I'm saying? You got your little tour guides. The language barrier isn't that much of a problem because you're in the touristy places. Get stuck in a foreign country, and those feelings all go out the window.
Mexico.
I don't know if y'all remember when I went to Italy. We did like 11 days in Italy, but on the way back, missed the flight and had to spend an extra night. That 12th day, all vacation, all nice, happy feelings, all that went out the window. I was scared as hell.
But here's the one thing I was thinking about. One thing is,
and they might get that feeling, Jim, like I'm stuck over there doing.
I wonder two things. For one, are they going to have a real experience because who they are, how they're going to be followed? It'll be a whole different experience than a regular player will. And if it starts to get tough, their pop will be like, look, we out. We done. We ain't honoring that contract. We going over here.
They will just leave.
They'll just bounce.
It's a semi-pro league. They playing against trash competition. But at the same token, they're playing against grown men that are going to resent them and try to F them up. So I'm thinking it's going to be real interesting how LeVar handles that because it ain't going to be up to the boys what they do. We know that.
Yeah. So they might just up and leave anyway. And guess what's going to happen if they up and leave? They're going to run a new show for another 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see how it plays out. We're going to be talking about it, reporting on it. Real quick, stat of the week. Then we'll get some quick birthday shout-outs and then get Gus Griffin's investment picks for the week before we get out of here. Gus is in a lot of trouble with our listeners, so he's going to have to call in and basically explain himself. But the stat of the week.
Word is they call him Gus Madoff.
The stat of the week is hoops related, and it's about the front line of the New Orleans Pelicans. When they traded DeMarcus Cousins there, a lot of people, including ourselves, had conversations of if it could work, could these guys play next to each other. Well, since he's been there, which was February of this year, which is basically after the All-Star break, directly after the All-Star break of last season, Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins have both registered at least 25 points and 10 rebounds in the same game 9 times in that span. So it seems like, the way these guys play, they're not in each other's way. They can still get their individual numbers, but the biggest question still remains, can they make it to the playoffs? Can they be, the names that they have at least on the roster leading the way with those two, can they be a pretty good seed going into the Western Conference playoffs this year? They get their numbers 25 and 10 in the same game at least 9 times. And now they got Rondo out here dishing out like double-figure assists. Y'all think this team could – I'm not even going to use the words make a run, but do y'all think this team can get in the playoffs and do anything, scare anybody?
Yeah, definitely. I believe that, and here's the thing, and I think we've talked about this in past, not recently, but I'm one of these folks that I don't believe when you have transcendent talent, you can make it work. Like, I don't think that transcendent talent gets in each other's way as much as, like, I'll go back to the all-time great Sam Cassell and Gary Payton. They played 2 different positions. They played the same position, but on that team when they were together for that brief spell, it was fine. That was great. Like, that was great basketball. Like, I don't think when you have transcendent talent, and these 2 dudes are actually, if we honest, they're way better than Sam Cassell and Gary Payton, although no disrespect to the gods, but I never thought they would get in each other's way, man.
Okay, definitely shout out to Skyview in the chat room for some of his comments in our earlier conversations. He gave us that term that I was looking for. It was wrongful termination, not improper termination. And during that same conversation, he said not making light of the situation at all, but for every Marshall Faulk situation, there are 8 Lewinsky's. And that might be the hard truth that a lot of people don't want to hear right now, especially a lot of people who are of the female persuasion. They don't want to hear that.
Listen, though.
But I feel him.
Timing is crazy because, not really when you think about it, because they're going back 20 years. So it may be a couple minutes before Bill's name starts popping up. But, who'll be shocked by that?
And Casey Mack in the War Room Sports Game Time group, he said, LiAngelo and Jello will be must-see TV in Russia. They will be fine. Must-see TV and being fine, 2 different things.
Yo, Kansas City Mac, you got to stop it.
Lonzo must-see TV, but we must see those triple singles he put up every night.
Yo, you gotta
I watch Lonzo every time he come on TV. He's must-see.
You got to stop, man. You got to stop.
I must see these triple singles.
Must-see TV. Yo.
Yeah.
Faces of Death is must-see TV, and there's people murking themselves.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Some real quick birthday shout-outs because we are late, and I see we still got some calls on the line. Got to get the Gus real quick, and we got to do all of this in like the next 10 minutes. So birthdays, as usual, brought to you by Digital Extreme Technology. If you or your business need a custom website solution, you need Digital Extreme Technology. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top-quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. Maybe not as affordable as a Wix site, but what you pay for it is going to be well worth the upgrade in what you're doing with the Wix. Financing options are also available, so visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them that War Room Sports sent you. All right, happy 29th birthday to Nicholas Batum. spending all that good contract money he got down in Charlotte. Carl Herrera
doing nothing
turned
in
51. Yo, Carl Herrera, when we were in like middle school, we used to say stuff like, Carl Herrera looked like a slave. We were some ignorant kids. Shout out to Carl Herrera. Kunta Kinte, he turns 51. Anthony Mason also turns 51. Shout out to the original Dandara, the original point forward, Anthony Mason. Stan Smith turns 71, and I tell you, I've never in my life seen Stan Smith play one set of tennis, but I damn sure rocked his sneakers back when I was in single digits, age-wise. I had me some Stan Smith Adidas, so shout out to him. And a rest in peace shout out to Ernie Davis, the former Cleveland Brown, the former Syracuse Orangeman, back when they were allowed to be called the Orangemen, the heir apparent in both places to Jim Brown, died way too early. He was born December 14th, 1939, passed away May 18th, 1963. Had a great movie made about his life, so shout out to him. And we'd like to give everybody a nice War Room salute on their birthdays. All right,
ingredients.
No doubt. So hold on that line, Tobias. We see you. We're going to get Gus Griffin on the line real quick to give his NFL investment picks. Gus, you are in the War Room. I think people might be a little mad at you, but you're here. What's up?
I'm here.
We can't protect you if you go out there, Gus. We can't protect you. You're only safe in here.
The reason I couldn't call in earlier is because I thought somebody might be watching me, so I figured it was best to just lay low a little bit.
He had to change locations before he made the call.
Exactly. That's the kind of year it's been.
Are you on the East Coast this week, Gus?
No comment.
Okay.
I'll get back to the East Coast in January.
All right. Well, let's get into the official particulars. Gus, you are currently on the season sitting with a 25-34-1 record. You went 0-4 last week, man. It was a rough week for you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if we can make up for it this week, and you got a lot of games that you're gonna do. We got the Buccaneers +6 versus the Falcons. Who you taking in this one?
I'm taking the Buccaneers. I love home divisional underdogs. At some point they got to put a whole game together. So I'm taking. I don't necessarily think they're going to win, but I'm taking them plus that 6.
Okay. We got the Colts +3 versus the Broncos.
Yeah, similar thought, though it's not a division game. My big piece for the Colts in this one tonight is you just can't count on Denver quarterback play to be on a consistent level of any kind. So they're on the road. So I'll take the Colts +3.
All right, and you got your Steelers +3 versus the Patriots, and what is the biggest game of the year so far in the AFC?
Yeah, I try not to play my Steelers. I try to separate the heart from the, from the investment thing. But the Steelers are rarely home
You're
underdogs.
separating the dollars from my pocket.
But when they are, I take them. Okay.
Okay.
And also, they got Joe Hayden for a reason. If they're not going to play man to man instead of that sorry zone that Brady's been chopping up for years against us, if they're not going to play man to man now, getting Joe Hayden back win. So I'm taking the Steelers +3.
Okay, and you got Meadowlark Lemon, aka God, back in the building. That's what we call Aaron Rodgers. You got the Panthers -3 versus Meadowlark Lemon, the quarterback edition. Who you got?
Yeah, the Panthers are a better team, even with Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the game, but the Panthers are a better team. We don't know how much back to the Aaron Rodgers we've known that he's going to be, but even with Aaron Rodgers at full strength, the Panthers are a better team. They're at home. I'll lay the 3.
And I'm rooting for the Panthers to win this game because I don't want Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Everybody in the NFC is rooting for the Panthers to win this game.
I'm sure Dallas would just bypass going to the playoffs if they know that they got to play Rodgers again.
Oh yeah, they don't want none of that. All right, so we got the Bears plus 5.5 at Detroit.
Yeah, the Bears are getting better, slowly but surely. I'm not going to say that Trubisky has justified all that they gave up for him. It's going to be very hard to do that. But I do see something in him. I see them constantly getting better over the course of the year. They lost to the Lions by 3 at the end in the first game. I think they can cover that 5. Wouldn't be totally shocked if they win that, but I think they can cover the 5.5.
Okay. And that's all of the games for the week. We're going to see if we can go undefeated this week and get back up in these standings. And then maybe next week when you call in, you can disclose your location for some happier listeners.
Yeah, I'd have to go. I have to do a lot better than undefeated for me to disclose my location, man. I tell you, it's getting out of hand. The next column, maybe perhaps by this weekend, on why fans throw things at athletes.
Yeah,
okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
My fans feel entitled. All right. I feel you on that. But, Gus, thank you so much. We look forward to that article, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you, and I truly appreciate not having to go to the unemployment line this week.
Nah, you good. All right. We talk to you next week. Gus Griffin, everybody. Get your NFL investment picks in. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. We got the homie Tobias waiting on the phone lines. We got to be quick with it. Tobias, what's going on, buddy? You in the war room?
Man, don't be rushing me, Dev, man. But anyway, what's going on, fellas? Hey, first thing first, roll damn tide. I love the fact that we the big baby. Hey, don't get mad at me. You should be happy that you ain't got a team that lost to a 7-5 Iowa team by 31 ain't in the playoffs. And if y'all mad, remember, your conference may get 2 teams now. Stop crying. Also, harassment stuff, Donovan McNabb, knowing hell his accurate issues, he probably missed the hole anyway. But that's probably why she mad at him. It gets better. All right. I had like the ball, so I want to call in last week, but the switchboard was messed up. It's like the thing is, this is, in my opinion, all about LeVar ain't getting his way. You want to say nothing about Europe when he getting his way. The coach said LaMelo can't shoot 50 times. I'm pulling him out of school. Jello, a kleptomaniac here. Whatever, some punishment. He probably playing first game in January. Oh, we're going to pull him out, send him overseas. And it's not even like it's Spain or Italy, one of those good leagues. It is Lithuania. And nothing's good to come out of Lithuania since Sarunas Marcelonis. Shout out to him.
No. It's not just Lithuania. It's Lithuania's 5th division.
Oh, boy. Hey.
I don't even think they got no pretty ladies in Lithuania.
No, hey, I've been stationed overseas. Now, see, the thing is, those are children being sent over there. A 16-year-old boy being sent over there. LeVar's not even really going to be over there. For what? A Facebook TV show to overpriced T-shirts? My thing is, I can't tell nobody how to raise their kids. But do the kids really want this? Or they just scared of their dad and just doing what the dad says. Because his neck is not the one on the line. It's everyone else's necks on the line, and they got to cash the checks that he's been writing.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, I know you guys got things. I know you guys got to go. But I'll say this real quick. The reason Aaron Rodgers is going to make the playoff because my sorry-ass Buccaneers couldn't beat a quarterback who couldn't throw a damn forward pass. And also, the Eagles.
What's wrong with you?
Hey, man, the Eagles, man, I tell you what, it's a shame, though, because they could have gone to the Super Bowl this year legit. But now, they'll be a playoff team, but it's a shame that it's not the fact your team lost when the guy was healthy. It's the fact they lost, they're not going to make it because he got hurt. And that's a bigger bunch of what-ifs. And there's no guarantee that they may be in that spot again because we know free agency, injuries, things like that. But hey, I'll let you guys go, man. You guys take it easy, man.
All right, man. Thanks for your call.
All right, no problem.
Somebody just came in with the rapid fire. Kill everything. Kill everybody.
He shot him off.
It's never a guarantee, man. It's never a guarantee. From year to year in the NFL,
I picked Jameis to be the savior of black quarterbacks, and it's looking like I was wrong, man. I might have been wrong, yo. He worse than Byron Leftwich.
Yo, so they're retiring Kobe's jerseys, plural, on Monday. The number 8 and number 24. I remember we talked about this earlier in the right before the season started when they first announced that they were going to do that. But it's here now, so we can revisit that for a moment. 8 versus 24, like the statistics of the two numbers and the two different parts of his career are pretty even, minus the championships and the MVPs with number 24. But who's the better player? Who y'all taking? 8 or 24?
24. But before I get into that real quick, I think that they should retire the jersey number 81, and we all know why. But I think that 24 had enough knowledge to just be able to do what he wanted from the perspective of controlling himself and his game and controlling the opponent. Number 8 was just a raw dog athlete.
Right.
With a lot of skill.
When we talked about it before, like I think we were all in agreement with 24, but it was like the obvious stuff, the power he wielded on the organization at that point, the mental fortitude that he brought to the game, the smarts that he brought to the game. But I've been watching a lot of number 8 footage lately, and even though I probably would keep my answer the same, I don't know though. It's closer than I. It's closer than I. It was closer than I thought about when we originally talked about it. I do number 8 was something else. As much as people say, his success was helped out by Shaquille O'Neal, I think some of his, just the raw dog abilities might have been hindered by having Shaquille O'Neal out there, but he still showed what he was about night in and night out. 8 was the athletic Kobe Bryant. That was the dude with the 360 dunks and the, going behind the back on the dude while he's right there and then 360 and all him, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And I never thought Kobe was like one of the most athletic dudes out there. Because if you look on, like if you go through like a Kobe Bryant dunk video, top 10 dunks or something like that, he's not skying over the rim like a Vince Carter, like a LeBron James, or anybody like that. He was just nasty with it though, and will punch on you if he catches you sleeping. So I think number 8 was more about that, and number 24 was more
athleticism
about solidifying the legacy.
I think his athleticism was deceiving because we got used to, as basketball purists and fans, we understood how skilled Kobe was. Like there never was a point in time where Kobe wasn't highly skilled. So that we kind of lost. Kobe was an athletic dude. I mean, he wasn't Vince Carter, but who is? But he was athletic as heck wearing that number 8 jersey.
And Dwight Howard, how athletic he was.
Yep. I honestly was thinking about
Ben Simmons.
When I said that.
Not Ben Simmons. Ben. What's the corny Ben name?
Ben Wallace.
Strong dude. Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace when he was with the Wizards, and he got punched on in that preseason game.
Yeah. He caught it.
And Steve Nash, when he basically just jumped over him because he tried to take a charge, so he went horizontal on him. What's wrong with that? All right, so yeah, I'm gonna be up to watch it. I'm gonna see how it goes out there in Lakerland. We got to get up out of here, Jim. You want to get us out of here?
God, time is flying. I'm sitting there like, man,
I'm sitting there. I'm like, Jim ain't gonna get in on this basketball conversation or what?
My fault, man. Because I honestly thought I'm sitting there like, we got a lot to talk about. I mean, I'm sitting there talking to my brothers, man. Anyway, man, time flew by tonight.
Mining Bitcoin.
Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us for another briefing in the room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, those on the Game Time group me app. Salute to y'all and all the calls who called in and we got to. Thank you. Those we didn't get to, we apologize because as you can see, time just flew by. Special thanks to Gus Griffin for the Buns picks he called in this week. His investment picks. We still gonna give him that for right now. Tune in next week, live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network as we recap Week 15 and preview NFL Week 16. Damn, season almost over. And of course, we'll catch up on everything happening in the association. So until then, enjoy your week. We'll see you back here next time. Catch everything we do. All of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, our blogs, webcasts. Anything that we do can be found at the Hub, which is warroomsports.com. You can pick up my book at sportsthebook.com or also at the Hub. Again, warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, do not accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-1400-12. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip-hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy. PJ, Jack Bay, Lee Austin. I'm Jack. Up here coming on the beat.
War Room Sports. www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.